What are the entry points into this business?
Right. So I was actually going to say that the moment you're able to associate with the right people and develop yourself and then get to become part of a good network that will help accentuate your career or bring you to that space and place, then you need to get up and go speak. Now,
so what are the entry points? Are there any requirements? Are there any certification?
So the first thing that anybody needs to first and foremost realize is that you just need to decide to speak. And speak everywhere and anywhere.
Everywhere and anywhere.
Why? Because just like muscles, you're also getting your speaking skills and career. All muscles get strengthened by doing that. A lot of times people say, but if it's a career, I should be making money from it. Well, how about you realize that that could be your own internship within your own international business, where you are skilling yourself, where you are preparing yourself, because nobody will hire someone who is not known.
I totally agree. So you can start by speaking pro bono.
True.
For free.
That's right.
In your community, in your professional organizations, and some other civic fora. Don't wait until you're invited to come and speak before you begin to speak. That seems to be what you're telling us now.
Yes, sir.
So the entry point requirement is your willingness and desire to speak.
Absolutely. That there must be a will, and that will then creates the way.
What do you have to say to those who say, but I don't have any message for the world?
So here's the interesting thing. Everybody is trapped with potential and possibilities. What we need to realize is that it is only when you begin to speak that which you have within you emerges.
So everybody has a message resident in them.
Definitely.
And everybody has some know-how that is already deposited in them.
Definitely.
All they need to do is to seek platforms and avenue whereby they can train their speak ability and go out there and deliver their message to the world.
Which is why, again, from those couple of things that we have mentioned, associating yourself with the right professional association in the industry, allowing yourself to be tutored and groomed towards it, it then gives you what I call the platform to be able to deliver it. And then when people see you, it becomes easy for people to want to seize the opportunity to engage you, to do work for them, which will then earn you the opportunity to move from freemium to getting the premium.
People need to understand it's a journey.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm taking away from you now. Yes. And the starting point could be freemium and it could be premium. Barack Obama could decide to start a speaking business at a premium level because he's the president of America.
The truth about it is that he actually didn't start at a premium level.
He didn't.
He was really and truly offering himself to speak for free.
I know.
By serving his gift.
I know.
And that then brought him into that premium space.
Exactly.
As a matter of fact, he would be earning nothing less than $100,000.
That would be the cheapest.
Yes, I agree.
What are the startup resources? What do you need to possess to take off?
Yes.
What are the things that need to be in place? Do you need startup capital? Do you need to have? What do you need to have?
So, a friend of mine who is South African by birth, though lives in the US right now, said, and I quote, his name is David Molapo. David says that for every voice, there is an invoice.
Wow.
In other words, when I unpack that phrase, the one thing is that your voice is an invoice or has invoices tied to it. In other words, your voice is your asset as a speaker. That's why it's important to, nurture it, nourish it, so that it's able to serve you and project that which you are trying to bring to reality for people. So that's the first point. Everyone who wants to be a great speaker needs to constantly get their voice.
So that's the number one resource.
Yeah.
What are the other resources?
So, again, you having your voice is not enough. training your voice is also very, very key. So, as I'm speaking right now, that's flexing my voice. Wow. How to modulate it. And recognize that there's a place to pace, but also pause.
So you try to train yourself.
Absolutely.
On eloquence.
Absolutely.
Articulatory efficiency.
Absolutely.
Oratorical prowess.
Absolutely.
You grow as you go.
Absolutely. So a whole lot of that is very, very needful. Why? Because people only pay for value.
True.
And so a lot of times many people say, oh no, I can speak. In quotes, as much as they say they can speak, they are sparking, if I may use that expression.
So you need to constantly ask yourself,
absolutely,
how do I come across when I speak?
Absolutely. Very, very important.
And you need to address those gaps.
So important.
If you can't afford a professional, the ideal thing is to seek out a professional.
Absolutely.
If you can't afford a professional, there are resources online, there are
Absolutely.
books. You can get yourself a mentor. It's a cheap way of bypassing the professional thing. What are the other resources? What about your mind?
So again, in mind, if you're going to be a great speaker, to recognize your mind is a tool. The mind will only become resourceful when it is being fed with the right details and the right information.
Yep.
So that's where the whole training comes in. And aside the training, the need to learn to sit and learn from others is very important. I like the fact that you mentioned Toastmasters.
Yep.
But I would also say that take it further. To take it further, I mean join yourself with bodies that help people to appreciate paying for the skills of speakers and coaches. That was what I did. After identifying the need to skill myself, I knew that if I was going to be a success at my career, I was not going to play local.
Wow.
In other words, I was local but globally minded.
True.
And that then led me towards going to get the right type of training. And it took me to desire to go become part of the Professional Speakers Association. So I did my search, and when I did my search, I realized that the only chapter of the Professional Speakers Association was in South Africa. And that was what inspired my desire to go and attend the convention in South Africa. From going to attend the convention in South Africa, I then realized that industry experts who come for that convention don't rush off.
Wow.
After the convention, they get to volunteer their time to do stuff in South Africa, and in wanting to do the same thing, an opportunity came for me to speak at a church.
Wow.
Now, that was my first ever opportunity to speak at a church outside the land of my birth in Nigeria. And so I spoke at a church in Cape Town, recognizing that I was going to bring my A game.
True.
Now, I had no idea that I was going to speak in that church. I only went for the conference, remember?
Yeah.
But on my way back from the conference, a friend who had invited me to his house was taking me to their church the following day, and he said to me, he said, you know, we're going to have a great day in church today. I said, well, I'm looking forward to it. You are my host. You are the pastor. And so we get to his church, and he gets on the podium and announces to his people, we have a guest. And I was really looking forward to just getting up to just, you know, say hi to everybody, when he suddenly announced to the entire church, our guest doesn't know what I'm about to do, but he will be speaking to us for the next 30 minutes. And my jaw drops. Now, I said that to say this, that the developing of your skills as a speaker also requires that you develop content before you are required to give them. And so I remember standing and speaking, you know, and my sisters would laugh, and my mom would be wondering why are they laughing at me, and they were wondering, you're just talking to us and you're behaving as if you're speaking at an international conference.
Wow.
So I was literally ready for the global stage, even though I was local.
Before you were back on that.
That's right. And so that opportunity to speak at that church in Cape Town without knowing that a member of the South African Parliament was seated in that church service, she became my very first client. Invited me to the South African Parliament, and the rest is history.